Just to do something a little bit different, I'm going to throw it to you, Jarret, to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jarret, and welcome to PE class. I used to do that every time, so it's old hat for me. But
Instinct.
yes, I am back, and what a week to be back. I'm dead broke because it's been 3 consecutive weeks of sales. Going back earlier this month, we had the Vinegar Syndrome mid-year subscriber week, which both Ben and I spent a bit of coin on. And then the next week was the Severin Summer Sale, which again I spent more coin on, way more than I care to admit. But I had been eyeing off some box sets, and they were 50% off, which is a great discount, but they are still very expensive. And then this week just passed, and now kind of going into this week a little bit. It's been the Amazon Prime week. I don't even know. Is it Prime Week? I don't know. They just seem to put Prime in front of something and they have a sale maybe like 4 times a year. But admittedly, this one has been a very good sale.
Yeah.
And I've bought plenty of things I didn't need to upgrade, including Blood Simple because the Blu-ray is fantastic, but it is my favorite Coen Brothers film. So felt like I needed the 4K, but I don't think the 4K's even got HDR. It's going to be a negligible upgrade and it's pretty much got the same special features. I'm really just upgrading because $33 or $35 was too cheap not to pass up. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to receiving a bunch of movies that I'm not necessarily needing or wanting, but yeah.
I've got Blood Simple on Blu-ray twice, and I haven't cracked either of them.
That's what we call addiction, my friends.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, because I think, I've owned that film on VHS, the old Premiere home video, an ex-rental, on DVD, the original theatrical, then the director's cut that came out, which had the faux commentary by the Coen brothers on it, then the Blu-ray, then the Classics Remastered Blu-ray, now the 4K. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know anymore.
When you have an addiction to drugs, you've got an itch you can't scratch, but addiction to like media is like you've got a DVD you can't crack.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like I just need my internet cut off for like a month so I can start getting through the collection, not be distracted by anything on streaming. Admittedly, we have been pretty good in this house in this last 2 weeks or so. We've been watching almost a disc a day. And we've even been watching some of the filthy old DVDs, like Encino Man got to watch the other night. Encino Man probably never going to see the light of like a HD Blu-ray or 4K release because it's tracked by Disney. And sadly, the goddamn DVD, it's not only just standard definition and early generation DVD, it's a non-anamorphic DVD, so it's letterboxed all the way around. You have to use the zoom on your remote.
Mate, that's a good time. That is a good time.
Look, the movie's that fantastic. I was distracted by
you make an effort for a movie like that.
Absolutely. Funnily enough, after watching that movie, there was, what's her name? Rose McGowan. She has a very small minor, like, 2 words sort of moment in the film. And then the following night, we watched Drop Dead Fred, which we did watch on an excellent Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, brand new 2K master. Looks very nice. And that film, Bridget Fonda has an uncredited cameo in it. Admittedly, a few more lines than old mate Rose McGowan, but it was interesting seeing these, actresses turn up in these films from that kind of vintage. I think they were about a year or two apart, those movies, funnily enough. And that was a weird connection. I read the reason why Bridget Fonda was in Drop Dead Fred in the uncredited roles because she's friends with Phoebe Cates, right? Which is phenomenal because everyone loves Phoebe Cates. But I just watched Shag the other night, which I don't think I'd seen definitely had not seen since Video, which is a pretty all-star kind of cast led by Bridget Fonda and Phoebe Cates as well. So it was kind of like this informal reunion in Drop Dead Fred. But anyway, I've not mentioned one single release that's being released this week. But anyway, I have mentioned that I am dead broke and I have an addiction that I'll never be able to get a proper fix for, I don't think. Anyway, so moving on to this week's releases, gentlemen. Here's some reasons to spend a little bit more money that you don't have. We've got the Rocky Ultimate Knockout Collection, and I like this one's called Ultimate Knockout because that one I've mentioned before that came out started last year, was just the Knockout Collection, not the Ultimate. It's only had parts 1 to 4. This is parts 1 through 6. It's got both cuts of Rocky 4 Plus. It's got both the theatrical and director's cut of Rocky Balboa in there as well.
And all the discs work, presumably.
Well, that remains to be seen. Look, I'm going to let the internet detectives do the work first and just double check that that's going to be the case. But anyway, that one's out this week on Wednesday. Also coming out from Roadshow, 2 of those two of those filthy SD treats on DVD, and two recent films, The Outlaws. But the other one, and this is pretty much the only reason I'm mentioning these DVDs. The other film I had to mention, it's a DTV actioner starring John Travolta, and it's appropriately titled Cash Out. Although arguably, I think he's just cashing in on. Yeah, it looks terrible. Admittedly, the art is better than that Harvey Keitel one we talked about last week. But
man, I mean,
Roadshow delivering the DVD goods.
You look at one of those graphs of John Travolta's career; it is like up. There's peaks and lows, man. It's fucking peaks and lows.
I don't think it's peaked for a long time, though. I can't remember the last time it peaked. Does anyone recall the last?
He had a good run. He had a good run. He had a good
run. What was
run.
The Fred Durst one? The critic,
the fanatic.
The fanatic. Yeah, fanatic. Yeah.
That was the last time it peaked. That was a phenomenal performance. That
I think we didn't even play it.
Offended everyone.
We didn't even play it at Monster Fest, did we?
Hey,
no,
I didn't mind it. Didn't mind it.
Could get it.
He went full retard, and it was it's fun.
Well, funnily enough, I saw a video the other day. Fred Durst invited Corey Feldman for a dance-off at a Limp Bizkit concert up on stage, but really disappointing because I didn't see Fred Durst do any dancing. He pretty much just let Corey.
Let me predict that
Feldman
dancing.
Do Michael Jackson cosplay. Yeah, you knew it. You knew it. Anyway, so that was interesting. So that's like the second best thing that Fred Durst has done since The Fanatic.
And then did Corey Feldman stop until the audience behaved themselves the way he wanted them to?
No, but Fred tried to get the crowd to go, go Corey, but no one seemed really up for it. They were into it, but they just didn't want to. They didn't want to do a group chant or anything of that nature.
There's nothing more horrifically embarrassing than a failed Go Corey at a concert like any of that. Exactly. When you try and start a chant and no one's digging it, and you're like,
no one's got the Fell Dogs back, unfortunately. So that's a damn shame. But anyway, moving on to Universal Pictures. Now, this one's an interesting one. Now, I know you were a big fan of this one, Glenn. I don't know if you caught up with it yet, Ben. I haven't seen it myself. Monkey Man, Dev Patel's directorial debut, produced by Jordan Peele. I was almost going to say Jordan Peterson. That would have been an interesting film.
That's right.
Now, I do want to mention it's coming out on 4K Blu-ray and DVD, but it's interesting because the 4K is carrying the collector's edition moniker, as the DVD and Blu-ray are. But as I understand it, it's a 4K only release locally. They're not putting the Blu-ray in it. At least no one said that that's the case. And it seems that all the special features that constitute a collector's edition are actually on the Blu-ray disc, which means the 4K is probably got the commentary and the Atmos track, but it's got none of the special features. So I don't know if you can call it a collector's edition. I think it would probably be better as a limited edition because it seems pretty limited in terms of content. But anyway, if you really like the film, just buy the 4K and the Blu-ray.
It's a good one. It's a good movie.
Done with it. I need to see it. Also, not from Universal, but in the action realm, another film that you two gents did actually go to see theatrically. I think you might have even gone to the Crown Casino.
Yep.
Got a little fancy, maybe had a buffet before the movie.
And a nap. And a good nap.
And that's right. You fell asleep during this one, but you woke up and it's like nothing happened. It was just one continuous action sequence. You're like, is the world dead yet or what?
Yeah. Little nap.
No, yeah, well, I will catch up with this one, but I feel, the power of streaming is going to compel me to it. And,
Did we say the title? Boy Kills World?
I think I did. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Okay, Boy Kills World. There we go. The Blu-ray and DVD from VVS Films that are distributed in stores through Madman. Now, Viavision had the most interesting releases this week, in my opinion. They've got some more titles they're adding to the imprint collection. 8mm. But the good news about 8mm, when it was initially announced, it sounded like it was just going to be basically the film and no special features because, of course, it's Sony, and Sony have really strict licensing restrictions with regards to content you can put on the disc unless it's already been approved and released on the disc in the past or whatnot. In any case, it looked like it was going to be featureless, so it was like, oh, well, that's a shame. It's already been out through Cinema Cult. Why double dip and get this imprint release if it's got nothing on it? Well, no, it's got all the archival content, plus it's got the interview with Joel Schumacher that was on the Scream Factory edition in 2019, and that's on there. So it's got to be one of his last sort of interviews. So it is a pretty decent package with a nice slipcover, so I'm certainly thinking of upgrading from the old grey bordered release, the old Cinema Cult release. But anyway, that one's exciting. The other two titles that they licensed from Sony, however, No sort of fanfare about it. They've got the slipcovers, but again, can't put any extra content on it. And that's Men of Respect with John Turturro. And The Juror, which has Demi Moore and, of course, Alec Baldwin, who's not known for being a juror per se, more for being the...
he knows jurors.
Anyway. Well, he does. How that... Look, that was a shock that got thrown out. I know that it was a disgrace what happened in terms of, like, you know, them withholding evidence and all that sort of thing. But it's just amazing.
What I don't understand... You know? What I don't understand about them withholding the evidence is what does the evidence... They withheld bullets that were just there. They weren't bullets that... Like, these weren't the bullets that he fired, or...
No, these weren't the bullets that were on the set, but they'd said that they were from... I think basically wherever they were picked up, they were able to match that, you know, both shouldn't have been in the one place at one time, and somehow they've, you know...
Right.
Regardless, they withheld the information. I watched half an hour video about this. I even watched, like, the cop, you know, on body cam come in on his spare time to deliver the bullets and then go to the interrogation room. And I came away after watching all that stuff, and I still don't know the story. I just was like, this is a miscarriage of justice. This is what it is. And that, you know, look, I've liked Alec Baldwin. I think, you know, he's done some incredible roles, whether, you know, comic, action, drama, whatever. But he is a bit of a smug asshole, and I believe that he was shooting a lot of behind-the-scenes footage for his reality TV show whilst he was going to trial, hence why the wife and the baby were coming along, not just as like a sympathy vote to the jury or anything, but for content, you know, so they could cut it into this reality show. And I just thought, oh my God, mate, just do trial, don't try and piggyback. But I mean, I know he's got 8 or 9 kids, and he's got to pay for them if they want to go to college or whatever.
And of course, he was last seen at a Trump rally, so you know.
Because after the proceedings of the weekend, Ben.
Yeah, but still, he's still the best Baldwin.
Yes,
he's still even.
Have you seen the footage? I think it's Stephen Baldwin in like some kind of Judge Judy style courtroom eating. Have you seen that?
He's eating.
Yeah, there's a commentary on it, like a guy's commenting the video, and in the background, Stephen Baldwin,
what he's eating?
He pulls out this massive piece of food, whatever it is, shoves it all in his mouth in one hit, but you never see him chew at all. It's like he just emulsifies it, and it just.
I've got to see that.
He was obviously that brother in the ball. He had no gag reflex, so all the other brothers took.
It's a shame he didn't go further with his career then. But anyway,
maybe he's secretly a lizard. Maybe.
Hang on, is it William or Stephen?
It's Stephen.
Oh, Stephen. Well, he was good friends with Bryan Singer, so enough said.
Yeah.
Well, I assume he was. I mean, he was in The Usual Suspects.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Anyway, moving on to the other releases, I will briefly mention that are coming out from Imprint. These ones are way more exciting. There's a double pack of Smoke and Blue in the Face, which I'm genuinely stoked about.
Yeah, can't wait.
Had the old real DVDs. Can't wait to upgrade them to Blu-ray. Some new and archival special features on those. And then sort of, I guess, coming out as almost like a companion piece is a Harvey Keitel box set that's coming out. And this thing's massive. Like, it's got like 6 films in it. I'm going to look over here to read the films out because there's a lot of films. Bad Lieutenant, the Abel Ferrara film. Young Americans, Dangerous Game, which is also another Abel Ferrara one. I think this is the one with Madonna in it. Imaginary Crimes, which I've gotten a double pack over here with Silent Fall, that Bruce Beresford film no one seems to remember with Richard Dreyfuss as a child psychologist. Cool film. Clockers, fucking great.
Love that movie. Yep.
You know, I think I've bought that a million times.
That was originally a Scorsese movie.
Yeah, then they did a swapsy.
Yeah,
they did a swapsy. Yeah.
Malcolm X, I think, was the other one.
Ah, is that how it worked out?
Oh, right, was it? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, no.
Spike Lee directed both of those. Oh no, but yeah, Martin Scorsese ended up producing it.
Yes,
but yeah, did they trade a film like Spielberg and Scorsese traded films at one point in time?
That was Cape Fear and Schindler's List. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, like Clockers has Scorsese's fingerprints all over it.
Totally is. It's like a Scorsese do the right thing. Yep. You can really see that kind of merge.
Mind you, the only thing missing from that Harvey Keitel box set is the paradox effect. Go figure.
No, go. But that may be volume 2. Yeah. Maybe volume 2. What I'd like is if they had one of those. Now, I've probably I do actually have an imprint box set down here. One of these. I just watched Music Box again the other night with Jessica Lange and the Costa Gravas film, and I can't remember the other actor. And this is around the wrong way. But what I would like to see is if Imprint did it and you just took the lid off, and it could be like Harvey Keitel from Bad Lieutenant, like this, and then you take the lid off, and
his penis is there.
Yeah, you see Harvey's Keitel.
I don't care for his penis.
Yeah,
I don't care for his penis. I was going to say it's a shame that the piano's not there, because otherwise you could play the Harvey Keitel penis drinking game.
Yeah. Oh man, there's no better way to get drunk than that. Okay, so moving on, there is one other distributor that's releasing a title this week that's worth mentioning. That's Studio Canal, and they've got that Amy Winehouse movie coming out, Back in Black. And just for some of the punters out there that might be confused, no, this is not a documentary. This is a autobiography.
Fake nose and all.
From
fake
the same, what's that? Yeah, fake nose and all.
Yeah.
Did you see this one?
No, I missed it.
No.
Oh yeah, I'm keen to see it. I really love the documentary. I thought the documentary was phenomenal. So I'm dead keen to see it. But I do want to quickly give you a recommendation. I won't go too much in detail because I know there's been a long segment. But my recommendation this week is a UK import. It's the Flesh and Blood Show, the films of Pete Walker. Now, this is his 1970s horror collection. So none of this exploitation stuff or the police films or the last film he did, which he did for Canon in 83, House of Long Shadows. This is a phenomenal set. This is probably my favorite release of 2024 thus far. Not only does it smell magnificent, it really does. It's got this beautiful artwork. And then
how did the Harvey Keitel one smell?
I don't know. I hope it's got a scratch and sniff. I want him to smell more like the piano than he did in Bad Lieutenant, because Bad Lieutenant, when he pulls those young ladies over, I can't imagine the stench. But Pete Walker. So every single one of the 7 films, I think,
Lovely.
7 films in this set, in their own little case, they've all got brand new art. And this is one of the cases where I actually really like the brand new newly commissioned artwork, but on the flip, you've got the original theatrical key art. Jesus Christ, there goes one of them now. In addition to that, beautiful booklet, lots of essays, including an excerpt or two from the book on Pete Walker, and there's like a magazine from somewhere in the UK in the 70s with an interview from him from that time. And this I like. These are art cards, right, folks? And you know that I've normally got my back up against art cards. But these are exactly what I wanted art cards to be. And if they play nice, I can tell you what's in there. Oh, that'd be heartbreaking, wouldn't it? I was like, 88 films. Can you send me a new art card? They're actually key artwork from the movies.
Amazing. Yeah.
Not useless production stills that nobody cares about. Someone just looking off into the distance. So, yeah, really rad set. Retails probably for about 150 Australian dollars, but it's $150 well spent. Yeah, it's fantastic. Did I mention what films were in that box set?
No.
I'm going to quickly mention them. That booklet, by the way, is 56 pages. It's pretty exhausting, just like me. Die Screaming Marianne, The Flesh and Blood Show, House of Whipcord, My Favorite Frightmare, House of Mortal Sin, a.k.a. The Confessional Murders, Schizo, and The Comeback, which I think The Comeback is vastly underrated as well.
How many of those movies star
Comeback King?
How many of those movies star Stephanie Beacham, Jarret?
I was going to say, yeah. That's a very good question.
Sister Kate, for those people who are mourning the death of Shannon Doherty and remember that Brandon starred in Sister Kate before 90210. It was like the lead in.
Origin story. Sheila Keith is actually, I think, in every single Pete Walker film, which is pretty amazing. She adds a lot of production value just by having that face of hers on screen. Anyway, gentlemen, probably the longest segment we've had for PE class
on the longest show of the year too.
Oh, there you go. I feel like you just keep upping the ante every week, because I'm pretty sure you threatened that last week on the podcast. I think I heard you say this is not like the longest one yet, Ben.
I promise this week.
Like the last one was like an hour and a half.
We've got the Boneheads live, so it's going to be a long one.
Oh my God. Well, good luck with it, gentlemen. And until next time,
stay physical.
Stay physical. On mine, that's perfect.